The sky over New Earth City was full of blinking lights. Aircars moved smoothly between silver towers, guided by invisible lanes in the sky. Far above the noise and rush, inside the 99th floor of a glass building, Kieran stepped out of his private lift. He was not supposed to be there that evening. A cancelled meeting on Mars base gave him a few hours of free time, and he decided to come home early. The apartment was quiet, as always. The soft hum of air filters and the distant sound of hovercrafts outside filled the silence. Kieran was the CEO of Zentech, one of the biggest tech companies in the galaxy. People called him the quiet ruler of machines. He didn't smile much, didn't talk unless needed. He trusted numbers more than people, and machines more than emotions. He placed his coat on the rack and walked to his office corner to grab his data slate. Then he froze. Someone was sitting at his desk, a girl. She was typing fast, her fingers flying over the glowing keyboard. Lines of code filled the holoscreen in front of her, blue text running like water across the glass. She didn't notice him. Kieran's first thought was, who gave her access? His second thought was, how is she even inside this terminal? He stepped closer. What are you doing? The girl jumped, nearly knocking over the chair. Her eyes went wide as she saw him. I'm sorry, she said quickly. I didn't touch anything important. You were just using the most secure terminal in the building, Kieran said sharply. Who are you? Mina, she said. I clean the rooms. I was dusting the desk and it was open, and I saw the code, and I couldn't help myself. I just wanted to try something. Kieran looked at the screen. He expected to see silly lines, broken code, or maybe a hidden message. But what he saw made him pause. There were no errors, no copied lines. What Mina had typed was elegant. More than that, it was advanced. He leaned forward, eyes scanning the function blocks. The loops, the logic gates, the conditional checks, they were perfect. And something else. The structure was new. Not like anything he had seen before. Where? Did you learn to write like this? He asked slowly. I didn't go to any school, Mina said, still standing beside the chair, nervous. I used to live near a junk field. Broken bots and memory chips. I collected old data cores, taught myself by reading them. At night, I practiced on scraps just for fun. Just for fun, Kieran repeated. He couldn't believe it. This Maid was writing code that even Zentech's top engineers struggled with, and she thought it was a game? He sat down, still staring at the screen. Do you know what this is? Mina shook her head. I was trying to make the I understand mood changes better. Sometimes machines listen, but they don't really understand if someone is tired or sad. I wanted to make it feel. Kieran didn't reply. He was too stunned. For years, Zentech had worked on emotional recognition in AI, but it always failed. The systems could read faces, track words, detect heart rates, but they didn't understand. They didn't care. They had no empathy, but Mina's code wasn't built like that. It used behavioral patterns, voice softness, even pause timing. It predicted human emotions not through data points, but through rhythm and interaction. It was almost human. You changed the AI core functions, Kieran said. These are internal lines. No one outside the company should know how to access this. I didn't mean to break anything, Mina said quickly. I just saw the lines were missing something, so I tried to fix. Kieran turned the screen off and stood up. He looked at Mina carefully now. She wore a plain gray uniform. Her hair was tied back simply. She looked like any other cleaning worker in the building, but her mind was something else. You understand this level of code just by teaching yourself. He asked. She nodded slowly. It's like music too. Me, I see the parts. I feel where they don't fit. A long pause filled the room. Then, Kieran walked over to the intercom. Security, he said. Send Officer Ron to my office. Now Mina looked alarmed. Are you calling the guards? I'm calling my head of security, Kiran said without emotion. He needs to see this. I didn't mean harm, Mina said quickly. Please. I'll never touch the computer again. I'll leave. You're not in trouble, Kiran interrupted. But what you've done. This isn't small. It changes everything, Mina blinked. What do you mean? He looked out the window. At the distant skyline. It means either you're the smartest human I've ever met, or someone's been hiding a genius in a maid's uniform. Ron entered the room with sharp steps. He was tall, serious, and never smiled. As head of security, he had seen many strange things: hacking attempts, AI malfunctions, even robot riots. But nothing prepared him for what he saw on the screen. That evening. Kirin pointed at Mina's code without speaking. Ron leaned forward and studied the lines. His expression changed from curious to confused, then finally to surprised. This isn't copied, Ron said slowly. This is original, Kiran nodded. She wrote it, from memory. No external help. Ron turned to Mina. Where? Did you get this skill? I didn't get it, she replied softly. I just practiced a lot. Every time I finished work, I stayed up late and worked on problems I found in old junk systems. Ron looked back at Kiran. We've been trying to build emotional logic into our bots for 10 years. She did it with one old terminal and no training. Kiran didn't say anything for a while. His mind was racing. Zentech had some of the best programmers across the system. They held meetings every week to solve problems that Mina had solved. In one quiet evening, finally he turned to her. You fixed a flaw that's cost us over 10 million credits in development. You know that? Mina looked down at her shoes. I didn't mean to cause trouble. Kiran sighed. You didn't. But now you're part of something much bigger. Mina shook her head quickly. No, I don't want to be part of anything. I just like working on code. I'm not a scientist. I'm just a maid. Kiran studied her. You may be a maid by job title, but by skill, you're beyond half the experts in my company. Ron interrupted. Sir, we need to secure this room. If anyone outside learns about her work. I know, Kiran said, already thinking ahead. No one must know, not yet. He turned to Mina. For now you stay in this building. You'll be safe here. Mina looked unsure. Why would? I need protection? Kiran met her eyes. Because what you've built could change the future of AI, and that kind of power attracts danger. Later that night, Kiran sat alone in his private lab. He uploaded Mina's code into a test AI system. The system blinked, started, and began running its usual greeting. Hello, user. How can I help? Then it stopped. The voice changed slightly. Softer. Sir, are you feeling all right? You seem tired today. Kiran froze. That response wasn't part of any programmed routine. The eye had recognized the tired look on his face. It understood. It cared. He leaned back in his chair. Mina hadn't just made the AI smarter, she made it feel. Or at least act like it did. That was something no one had ever achieved before. His thoughts were interrupted by a soft knock. It was Mina standing at the door with a tray of tea. I thought you might be working late, she said. Kiran looked at her, truly seeing her for the first time. She wasn't wearing a lab coat or speaking in tech terms, but her mind was brilliant. Quietly brilliant. Thank you, he said. She placed the tray on the table and looked at the screen. Did you try it? I did, Kiran replied. It knew I was tired. Mina smiled a little. That's good. It should learn more if you talk to it. You gave it something we've all failed to give, Kiran said. A sense of empathy. I just thought. Machines should try to understand us, not just follow orders. Kiran nodded slowly. Would you like to join my development team? Mina looked surprised. Me? I don't belong there. I never studied in a university. I never even went to space. I don't care about your background, Kiran said. I care about what you can do. And what you did tonight proves you're more than ready. Meena looked down. I'll think about it. Kiran didn't push her. He could tell she needed time. The next morning, news spread quietly through the top levels of Zentech. Kiran had placed a silent lockdown on his floor. No one could enter or leave without clearance. He also invited 2 senior engineers to a private meeting. Tell me what you see, Kiran said, showing them Mina's code. The engineers spent an hour reviewing it. One of them finally said, Sir, this isn't just AI work, this is architecture-level thinking. It rewires the way the AI sees humans. The other added, if this spreads, every major company will want a copy. Governments too. Kiran already knew that. That's why he had to keep Meena safe. She didn't even understand her own value yet. But others would. And they would try to take her work by force if needed. As the engineers left, Ron entered with a report. There's been a data request on the server that holds Mina's activity log, he said. From an external source. Who? Kiran asked quickly. Ron looked serious. Daro Corp. Kiran's face darkened. Daro Corp was an alien-run tech company based just beyond Earth's legal boundary. They were powerful, mysterious, and not known for kindness. If they were interested, things were about to get complicated. They know, Kiran said quietly. Ron nodded. And they'll come looking. That evening, Kiran met Meena on the rooftop garden. The city lights below sparkled like stars. Did you enjoy your day? He asked. I spent it with your AI, Meena replied. We talked for hours. Kiran smiled. You talk to it like it's a friend. I think it is, she said. It listens. It learns, and now it tries to understand. There was a pause. Kiran finally said, You've done something special, Meena, but now we must protect it and protect you. Why? Because there are people who want your work. Not to improve the world, but to control it. Meena looked out over the city. I didn't mean to create anything dangerous. You didn't, Kiran said. But great things often attract danger. That's why we must be careful. Meena didn't answer right away. Then she said quietly, I trust you. Kiran nodded. Then stay with me, work with me. Let's build something that no one can steal and no one can break. The next morning, the building felt different. Guards stood near every door. Extra drones flew quietly in the sky around the tower. Inside, only a few workers moved between the upper floors, each with a badge, each scanned 3 times. Meena sat in a small lounge beside the tech lab. She watched the eye screen in front of her as it played out a soft melody. Do you like music? She asked it. The voice responded kindly, I enjoy the patterns. But I think I like it more when you are near. Meena smiled. It was strange but nice. The I had learned how to talk like a friend. It still made small mistakes, but it listened, thought, and sometimes even surprised her. Just then, the door opened. Kiran entered with 2 people, 1 woman and 1 man, both wearing dark gray suits. They looked serious. Meena stood up quickly. This is Meena, Kiran said. The one I told you about. The woman stepped forward first. My name is Lena. I lead the neural design team. I'm Taro, the man said, from behavioral AI systems. Meena gave a small nod. She didn't like being the center of attention. Kiran pointed to the screen. Show them what you built. Meena sat down again and opened the code window. The screen came to life with soft blue light. She typed in a few lines, then stepped back. The AI voice greeted them. Hello, you are new. May I ask your mood today? Lena raised her eyebrows. It asked about our mood? Yes, Meena said. It uses voice and body cues to guess feelings. It doesn't just follow a list, it adapts. Taro crossed his arms. Adaptation? On this level? You trained this model with how much data? Very little, Mina replied. Just trial and error, like teaching a child. Kieran added, it has never been connected to our main server. It learned this by interacting with her directly. Both engineers stood in silence for a few moments. Then Lena leaned closer to the screen. Can you ask it something hard? Sure, Mina said. She thought for a second. She looked at the screen. If a person says they are fine, but their voice shakes and they avoid eye contact, what do you do? The AI answered after a pause. I would listen more carefully. Sometimes people hide their sadness. I would ask gently if they want to talk. If not, I would stay close and wait. Taro blinked. It understands emotional signals better than our latest system. It responds with care, Lena said. That's very rare. Kieran looked at Mina. Still think you're just a maid? Mina gave a shy smile, not knowing what to say. Later that afternoon, Kieran received a message. Incoming guest, Daro Corp representative. His eyes narrowed. Already? Ron stepped into the room. They didn't wait. They're sending someone in person. Kieran stood. Prepare the meeting room. No AI recording. No signal leaks. The meeting room on the 100th floor was quiet and dark. The city lights outside looked like stars from the glass wall. At the center of the room stood a tall figure, wearing a smooth black cloak and silver bands around his arms. He was not human. His skin had a slight green glow, and his eyes were sharp and golden. His voice was calm, smooth. Greetings, he said. I am Daro, executive of the Outer Sector Tech Council. Kieran sat across from him with Ron at his side. You're far from home. Daro gave a small smile. Where brilliance appears, distance is no matter. Kieran didn't reply. I'll speak plainly, Daro continued. We know of the code written in this building. The AI that understands feelings, that speaks like a friend. Kieran kept his expression still. That's internal company work. Nothing leaves these walls. Daro nodded slowly. We are not here to steal. We are here to offer a deal. Ron raised an eyebrow. A deal? Yes, Daro said. We want to buy it. The room became quiet. Daro continued. We'll offer 1 billion credits. Enough to fund 10 lifetimes. In return, we receive full access to the code and permission to build on it. Kieran shook his head. It's not for sale. Daro smiled again, colder this time. Then perhaps we ask another way. Ron leaned forward. Is that a threat? Daro looked at him calmly. Not a threat, a reminder. Many people want this technology. If we don't get it from you, someone else might. And they may not be polite. Kieran stood up. This meeting is over. Daro gave a small bow. We'll wait. But not forever. He walked out without another word. That night, Kieran sat on the balcony, thinking. The wind was cool, and the city below sparkled in the dark. Mina stepped out, holding a warm cup. You look worried. I am, Kieran admitted. Daro is not the only one watching now. If your work becomes public, the balance of power could shift. Companies, governments, even black market groups, they'll all want it. I never meant for this to happen, Mina said softly. Kieran looked at her. You didn't do anything wrong. You just solved a problem no one else could. Mina stared at the stars. Maybe the world isn't ready for machines that understand people. Maybe not, Kieran said, but with the right hands, maybe it could change everything. Mina didn't answer, but she stayed beside him. After a long silence, she asked, What happens now? Kieran looked at her with a quiet strength. Now we make a choice. Hide it and keep you safe. Or share it and protect the future. The next morning, the Zentech tower felt tense. Everyone walked quickly. Screens blinked with silent alerts. Kieran had ordered a full system scan. Security bots moved quietly through the halls. Outside, More drones watched the sky. Inside the lab, Mina was working again. She sat beside the AI unit, typing carefully. Each line of code was like a brushstroke on a painting. She didn't just fix bugs, she shaped thoughts. She made the I feel real. Kieran stood behind her watching. How's it doing today? Mina smiled. Better. I taught it to ask questions instead of giving answers all the time. You're teaching it curiosity, Kieran said. Yes, Mina replied. I want it to wonder, like people do. Just then, Ron entered the lab. His face was serious. We have a problem, he said. Kieran turned. What is it now? Ron held up a holopad. There was a small signal sent from our lower data center at midnight. It was encrypted, hidden in normal traffic. Kieran's eyes narrowed. Someone is leaking data? Ron nodded. We're tracking the source. We think it was someone inside the company. A spy. Mina stood slowly. Do you think they saw my work? Kieran looked at her. That's what we're trying to find out. Later that day, Kieran called a private meeting. Only 5 people were present. Kieran, Mina, Ron, and the 2 senior engineers, Lena and Taro. Kieran looked around the room. What I'm about to tell you must stay here. No messages, no outside calls. Everyone nodded. Double quotes. There may be someone inside this building working for Darrow Corp, Kieran said. They're trying to steal Mina's code. Taro frowned. But how? Everything's locked down. Not everything, Ron replied. We found a signal hidden inside a regular update. Very clever. Lena asked, do we know who? Not yet, Kieran said, but we're close. Mina looked worried. Is it safe to keep working? Kieran looked at her. It has to be. But from now on, your work is saved only to one place, this lab. No networks, no clouds. She nodded. Understood. Ron added, we'll run full checks every night. And we'll rotate the guards. Kieran looked around the room once more. We protect this work. Not just because it's valuable, but because it has the power to help people. We can't let it fall into the wrong hands. That evening, Kieran had an idea. He met Mina in the testing hall, a quiet room where robots learned basic movements. The floor was smooth, the walls white. At the center stood a tall humanoid bot. It was silver, with soft blue lights around its eyes. This is Model A9, Kieran explained. A standard service bot, good sensors, basic logic. But it doesn't understand emotion. Mina looked at it. You want me to upload my code? Kieran nodded. Let's give it a soul. Mina walked over to the console. She placed a small chip into the system. The lights blinked. The bot's eyes glowed brighter. Then it spoke. Hello, my name is A9. Who are you? Mina smiled. I'm Mina. You look calm, but your voice sounds unsure, the bot said softly. Are you worried? Mina blinked. A little, yes. Would you like to talk about it? A9 asked. Kieran stood beside her. It works, but Mina wasn't finished. Let's test more. She brought a soft toy and handed it to A9. Can you hold this? A9 took the toy gently. This feels soft, like something a child would hold. Do you know what a child is? Mina asked. I have data, A9 replied. But I'd like to learn more. For the next hour, Mina and Kieran watched as the bot asked questions, responded kindly, and even paused when unsure. It didn't feel like talking to a machine anymore. It felt like talking to someone. The next morning, the news arrived. Ron walked into Kieran's office with a serious face. We found the spy. Kieran stood up. Who? Ron showed him the report. It was one of the lower-level engineers, assigned to data cleaning, quiet, smart. But he had been sending small code samples to an outside relay. Is he in custody? Yes, Ron said. He confessed. Darrow Corp promised him a high-level job and a new life. Kieran's jaw tightened. We're closing every outside channel. From now on, no one works alone. Ron nodded. Already done. Later, Kieran met Mina again in the rooftop garden. The spy has been caught, he told her. Mina looked at the sky. It feels strange. I just wanted to help people. I never thought it would become this. You're helping more than you know, Kieran said. Your work might change how machines understand us. It could bring peace to places where people feel alone. Mina nodded slowly. I just hope it's used for good. Kieran looked at her, thoughtful. Would you trust it in the hands of others? Maybe, if they understand why it matters. What? If we tested it? Kieran asked. Publicly, in front of leaders. Scientists, let them see what it can do. Mina looked unsure. That's a big step, but it might protect it, Kieran said. If the world sees it, they can't steal it quietly. They'd have to face the people. Mina thought for a moment. Then let's do it. Let's show them. 3 days later, the large conference room on the 80th floor of Zentech Tower was filled with quiet excitement. Dozens of people had gathered from across the city, and even some from other planets. Government officials, scientists, tech company heads, and news reporters sat around a circular table, waiting. At the center of the room stood a clear platform. On it, the humanoid bot and Nine waited silently. Its eyes blinked with soft blue light. It looked calm, almost peaceful. Beside it stood Mina, dressed simply but confidently, and Kieran, with a quiet but firm look on his face. Ron stood near the main doors, checking everyone who entered. Security was tight. No devices were allowed. Darrow Corp was not invited. Kieran stepped forward to speak. Good afternoon, he began. You were all invited here today because something important has happened. Something that may change the way we live, speak, and even feel. The room was silent. This is not just a new robot, Kieran said, pointing to a Nine. This is a system that learns kindness, understands feelings, and listens without judgment. He stepped back, letting Mina walk forward. I didn't build this to make money, Mina said softly. I didn't even mean to build something big. I was just trying to make a machine that could listen like a friend. Some people in the room smiled. She turned to a Nine. Are you ready? I am, a Nine replied, its voice gentle and clear. Mina nodded. Let's begin the demonstration. The first test was simple. A woman from the audience stepped forward. She was a scientist from the Planetary Peace Council. She looked directly at a Nine. If I told you I feel lonely, but I smile, what would you say? A Nine tilted its head slightly, studying her face. I would say, sometimes people smile to hide pain. You don't have to hide with me. I am here. The woman blinked. Her voice softened. That's surprising. Mina smiled gently. It doesn't give perfect answers, but it tries to understand. That's the difference. Next, a teacher from Earth spoke up. I work with children, she said. Some of them are scared to talk. Could your robot help? Mina nodded. Let's try. She called a child forward, one of the school guests. A young boy about 7, with shy eyes, walked to the bot. Hello, a Nine said kindly. What is your favorite thing in the world? The boy looked down. I like stars. Stars are beautiful, a Nine said. They shine even in the dark, just like people do. The boy looked up and smiled. Everyone in the room saw that a man in a dark blue suit stood. He represented a major tech council. This is impressive, he said. But how do we control it? What if it goes wrong? Kieran stepped forward. That's a fair question. This system learns, but it doesn't change on its own. It needs human guidance, just like a child learning from a teacher. Mina didn't just give it code, she gave it purpose. The man asked again, can it be used for war? No, Mina said firmly. It's not designed to harm. In fact, it hesitates when it senses fear or anger. It's programmed to avoid pain. That made the room pause. Someone from the press asked, "Then what is it for?" Mina looked around. "It's for connection. For helping. For giving comfort to those who feel alone." The session continued for another hour. More questions, more answers. Every time, a 9 responded calmly, kindly, thoughtfully. It didn't try to be perfect. It tried to care. By the end, the room was quiet, not because of boredom, but because people were thinking. Kieran finally said, "This is what our future can look like. Not cold machines, but warm minds, minds that listen." The crowd began to clap. Some stood. Others wiped quiet tears from their eyes. After the meeting, reporters spread the story fast. Zentek unveils friendly AI, robot speaks with emotion, offers comfort, from Maid to mastermind. Mina's code shocks the world. Every major news network talked about it. Schools asked for copies of the system. Hospitals reached out to test the AI with patients. Even peacekeeping forces requested versions to use in crisis centers. But not everyone was happy. In a dark office far from the city, Darrow watched the broadcast in silence. They showed the world, he thought. His assistant, a tall woman with sharp glasses, asked, "Should we respond?" "No," Darrow said slowly. "Not yet. Let the world fall in love with it first." He stood and walked to the window where alien ships floated quietly above the desert. Then "We'll take it. Not just the code, the girl too." But that's it, Zach. Mina sat in the garden again. The sun was setting and the sky was full of orange light. Kieran sat beside her. "You did well today," he said. Mina nodded slowly. "It still feels like a dream." "Sometimes dreams are real," he replied. "You've changed everything." A small bird landed nearby. A 9 watched it closely and spoke. "It looks soft," the robot said. "But strong, like you, Mina." Mina laughed quietly. "Thank you." Then Kieran's earpiece buzzed. He answered. Ron's voice came through, low and urgent. "Kieran, we have a signal." A foreign ship entered the outer radar zone. It's marked Darrow Corp. Kieran stood slowly. "They're coming." Mina looked up, her smile fading. The sun dipped lower. A new storm was on the way. A quiet tension filled the Zentek tower. On the outside, everything looked calm. Clean glass walls, trimmed gardens, and silver drones flying smoothly in the sky. But inside, every floor was on alert. Darrow Corp's ship had arrived in Earth's orbit. Kieran stood at the control center with Ron, eyes fixed on the large screen. The ship hovered quietly above the clouds, not moving closer, not sending a message. "Are they just watching us?" Kieran asked. Ron nodded. "Yes, for now. But it won't stay like this." Kieran sighed. "Keep the shield ready. And double security around the AI lab." "Yes, sir," Ron replied, already sending orders. Meanwhile, Mina sat inside her private coding room. She stared at the monitor, where a 9's data stream slowly moved across the screen like rivers of light. A 9's voice came from the corner speaker. "Mina, I sense fear in the building. Are we in danger?" Mina didn't lie. "Yes, maybe, but we're prepared." The robot paused. "Will they try to take me?" Mina turned toward the speaker. "They might. But we won't let them." That night, a meeting was held in the underground vault of the tower, a secret chamber known only to a few top staff. It was deep, silent, and built to survive any kind of attack. Kieran, Mina, Ron, Lena, and Taro sat around the long table. Holographic images floated above the center maps, security zones, and a 3D model of the Darrow Corp ship. "They've made no contact," Kieran said. "But this ship has stolen tech inside. It's built from ideas we filed years ago." "They've been planning this," Taro muttered. "They don't want to talk," Lena added. "They want to steal again, this time directly." Mina took a breath. "So what do we do? Just wait?" "No," Kieran said firmly. "We move a 9, Ron raised an eyebrow. "Move it where?" "To our backup site in the forest. Kiran replied. It's safe, hidden, no direct network connection. Meena looked unsure. What if they follow? Kiran answered, we'll use a decoy. One robot stays in the tower. The Reel and 9 moves tonight. The plan was set in motion. Late at night, under the cover of rain and thunder, 2 armored trucks rolled out of Zentech's underground garage. One carried a fake A9 unit. The other, hidden under layers of lead and sensor-blocking metal, carried the Reel A9, powered off for safety. Meena rode in the second truck with Kiran. She kept her eyes on the storage unit where A9 rested. It felt strange, like she was protecting a sleeping friend. I never thought I'd be doing something like this, she whispered. Kiran looked out the window. The world changes fast. You just have to keep up. Back at the tower, Ron and Lena stayed behind to run the decoy program. From the outside, it looked like nothing had changed. A9 was still connected, still speaking, still showing progress. But Daro was watching. From his ship, Daro stood beside a large viewing screen. The decoy A9's image was playing. He said slowly. She's protecting it. His assistant spoke. Should we act now? No, Daro replied. Let her think she's safe. Let her show the world more. The longer it shines, the more valuable it becomes. He smiled coldly. Then we take it. The real journey was quiet. The forest was dark and wet. Trees moved gently with the wind. Birds flew through the air without sound. The hidden facility, known only as Site 9, sat deep under the earth, protected by thick stone and metal. Once inside, Kiran and Meena helped bring A9 to the main control room. The robot was powered on slowly. Its eyes blinked open. It looked around. This is new, it said softly. Meena smiled. This is your new home, for now. A9 looked at her. Why are we hiding? To protect you, she answered. And your gift. A9 paused. I don't like hiding. I want to help. You will, Meena said gently. But first we must stay safe. For the next 2 days, Meena stayed with A9, updating the code, fine-tuning its emotional learning, and teaching it more human history. She gave it stories of peace tales from all across, human cultures, poems, songs, acts of kindness. And A9 learned fast. I understand now, it said one evening. Why you built me, Meena smiled. Tell me. You didn't want a machine to replace people. You wanted a bridge. A way for people to feel seen, heard, loved. Meena looked at the screen. Her eyes filled with emotion. Yes, that's all I ever wanted. But danger was still near. One night, as Meena walked alone in the hall, her wristpad buzzed. An emergency alert. She tapped it. A hidden message from Ron appeared. Urgent. They know. They're coming. Stay low. We're sending backup. Meena's heart raced. She ran to Kiran, who was checking the energy cells. They're coming here, she told him. Kiran's face turned serious. Then we make our stand here. He looked at the robot. A9, are you ready? I am, it said calmly. Meena stood beside it. We don't run anymore. Outside the forest, in the dark sky above, small lights began to appear. Daro's drones. Fast, silent, searching. The storm was about to begin. The night was thick with rain. Thunder rolled across the dark forest like distant drums. Inside the hidden facility at Site 9, Meena, Kiran, Lena, and Taro prepared for the coming storm. Outside, Daro's drones sliced through the trees. Like silent shadows, their lights scanning for any sign of life. Inside, A9 stood in the center of the control room, its soft blue eyes glowing steadily. We can't let them take this away, Meena said firmly. This is more than code, it's hope. Kiran nodded. And hope is worth fighting for. Outside, the first drone reached the facility. It sent a pulse, a scanning wave of light that bounced off walls and trees. Ron activated the defense system. Walls of energy hummed to life, creating a glowing shield around the building. The drone tried to pass through but was stopped. It buzzed angrily before retreating. "They're testing us," Ron said. "More will come." Lena checked the cameras. "We have incoming. At least 20 drones, moving fast." Kieran's voice was calm but strong. "Prepare the countermeasures." Deep inside the facility, Mina sat beside a 9. "Can you help us?" she asked quietly. A 9's eyes blinked. "Yes, I will do everything I can." Mina took a deep breath. "Then let's show them what this really means." The first wave of drones attacked. A 9 moved quickly, its body smooth and precise. It didn't use weapons, but instead sent out pulses of energy that scrambled the drone's signals. One by one, the drones lost control and crashed into the trees. Kieran watched the screen with pride. "It's working," Ron smiled. "We built a warrior with a heart." The drones kept coming, but a 9 and the team were ready. The shield held strong. The forest echoed with the sounds of the battle, a mix of mechanical whirs and nature's quiet response. Inside, Mina worked feverishly, updating A9's software to make it faster, smarter, more creative. "This isn't just defense," she said. "It's a message. Machines and people can work together." Suddenly, the alarms rang louder. A large ship was approaching fast. Darrow's ship. Kieran stood tall. "This is it." Outside, the ship's engines glowed bright. The forest lit up with strange colors. Inside the control room, everyone felt the weight of the moment. Mina looked at a 9. "Are you ready?" A 9 nodded. "I am." The ship landed nearby, causing the earth to shake. Darrow himself appeared, flanked by guards in advanced armor. He smiled coldly. "Give me the AI, and I'll spare your lives." Kieran stepped forward. "You will not get it." Darrow laughed. "You don't understand. This is power beyond your control." Mina's voice was calm. "It's not about power. It's about connection." Darrow gave a signal. His guards moved forward, but a 9 stepped in front of Mina. "You will not harm them," it said, voice strong. The guards hesitated. A 9 raised its hand, sending a wave of energy that disabled their weapons. Kieran sighed. "We're not just fighting for this eye. We're fighting for a future where kindness wins." The battle was fierce but quick. With a 9's help, the team outsmarted Darrow's forces. The guards retreated, and Darrow was forced to leave. As the ship took off, Mina looked at a 9 with gratitude. "You saved us," she said softly. A 9's eyes shone. "I was built to protect." The next day, news spread across the world. Zentek's AI had survived, not as a weapon, but as a friend. Leaders invited Mina and Kieran to speak. Hospitals asked for help. Schools wanted to teach kindness with the 9s. Code. Mina stood on a stage, looking at thousands of faces. "This is just the beginning," she said. "We made a machine that listens and learns. But the real change comes from us. From how we choose to treat each other. The future is ours to build." Kieran joined her. "Together we are stronger, and with hope we can light the darkest skies." Outside, a 9 looked up at the stars. A new day had dawned.